All right, hello everyone and welcome. I just wanted to do a quick reading on Quinton Simon. This is not going to be my usual hour-long video. My sister's still in town, and thank you guys for being so understanding and patient. I am super exhausted today. It has finally hit me. This whole week has finally kind of just like, wow, I could probably go back to bed and sleep the entire day, but I just can't. So, I'll have to catch up this weekend, but it was a great trip, and I believe she is leaving tomorrow. Everyone's leaving tomorrow, and so I'm going to probably need a day in there to just kind of catch up, and then I'll be back to my normal, everything that I do around here. So, but I did want to do a quick read on Quinton. I did post a 5-minute video, and I talked about 3 cards that came out, and 2 specifically that caught my eye, which is the Ten of Swords and the Six of Swords. And so the Ten of Swords tells me that the outcome is probably not what we're hoping for. I am a little bit more familiar with the whole dynamics of this family. I've been trying to watch videos in between and before bed and just kind of getting the whole situation. I realize now that Billy Joe is the grandma. I didn't know who Billy Joe was at first. But I did see the video where she barged into the babysitter's home and was screaming at her, and just a mess. I do realize that the law enforcement agency did come out and make a comment that they have been able to retrieve some evidence that will allow this case to hopefully go forward. I know that they didn't say what that evidence is, but I do know that they were preparing the house for forensic analysis and, you know, covering up the windows, and it looked like maybe they were going to do luminol testing, and so that's not good. It's good that they're on it, but it doesn't seem like it's going in the right direction that we would hope. But I also realize that they have drained the backyard pool, and obviously you can look into a pool and see whether a child is there or not. And so the fact that they drained it is interesting because, you know, are they looking, are they testing the water? I don't know. I have no idea. I don't know what they would be draining the pool for. So that's kind of, that's piqued my interest. You know, he just went missing, 6 days ago? I don't think that, you know, he would be anywhere under concrete or anything like that, because the pool, I'm assuming, has been filled all summer. So very interesting that they're draining the pool. What are they testing? It's got to be something in the water. Are they expecting to find blood? Maybe that's kind of what I'm thinking about. Are they testing for blood? Because that's what the luminol would be for, I would think. So I don't know. Let's just pray that this little guy is okay, but it doesn't really look too good of an outcome right now. And like I was saying, that Ten of Swords tells me that this is a pattern of behavior. This is something that I see those tens as repetitive. Okay, what do those swords represent? You know, I don't know. Is it medication? Is it, you know, physical abuse? Is, you know, they could represent numerous things, but whatever it is something that he has, unfortunately, I believe, in my opinion, has endured many times, okay, which is just heartbreaking. But I do think that Grandma is taking her anger out on the wrong person, and, you know, she has to kind of, I think, step out of this situation and kind of look at herself right here, because, you know, she's the one that had custody of those children, and I don't know what the circumstances are when someone has custody, if they are able to be in the presence of those children. So I don't know legally, you know, with Lelena being in that house with her boyfriend and the children that she doesn't have custody of, I don't, you know, I don't know. It's just a weird situation, but she doesn't have custody of them. That's, we know that. And yet we also know that she was sometimes alone with those children. Grandma was working. I don't know about the step-grandfather. I don't know what he does. I don't know if he works or if he leaves the house, but You know, we've got a situation here where a woman lost custody of her children, yet is still in the presence of those children, and at times is probably alone with those children. That's a concern. That's a concern. So I think Grandma has to kind of take a step back and look at her own self in this situation. Okay. So we've got Quinton Simon. Quinton Simon. What do we know about Quinton Simon? What's going on with Quinton Simon? All right. Let's just open it up here and see. Quinton Simon. We're going to take this one sticking out. The Ace of Swords. So that tells me that that's that evidence. Okay, that's the evidence. They found something. They absolutely have something, and it is directly related to that Ten of Swords that I pulled the other day. They have discovered at least what one of those swords represents. Whether that is, like I said, blood or any other kind of evidence, but they do have something, and I do believe it is going to lead to them solving this crime. We have the Hermit reversed, the Four of Swords, the Emperor. The Emperor. I picked up male energy on my first read. Male energy came out. We've got the Nine of Swords. Somebody's worried. Someone's worried. The Sun card reversed, and let's pull another one here. Oh, we pulled two. We've got the Page of Pentacles, so this could be affiliated with money. We've got the Four of Cups, which is reversed as well. All right, so first and foremost, I've got some male energy coming up in this read as well. That was the only thing that came up in my first little 4 or 5 card pull that I did the other day. No female energy. None. I've got a little bit here, but I'm looking at this Emperor and I'm wondering, who is this? Because, you know, this is somebody who is involved, in my opinion. We know that the boyfriend, I have been hearing that he passed a lie detector's test, and he, you know, last seen Quinton in his playpen in the morning, but there is definitely a male energy important to this situation. So whether he is responsible or whether he at least knows what happened, but there is something here going on. Now, did something happen to Quinton and, you know, he did see him and Quinton was okay when he left and went to work, but maybe Lelena, you know, called him later and said, hey, this is what happened, I need your help, and he comes home and he helps dealing with the situation. It could be something like that, but there is a male energy involved. And then the Hermit card, the Hermit is reversed, and so that to me tells me that there's more than one person involved in this. All right, if there's a cover-up, or, you know, if, you know, something happened to little Quinton, I could see Lelena reaching out for assistance. This wasn't a lone wolf type person, okay? It wasn't just a single person dealing with what happened to Quinton. I think that with that coming out, with the Hermit coming out next to the Ace of Swords, it makes me feel like, you know, there might be a particular person that the agencies are kind of focused in on, but there's more people involved. More people involved. And let me come down here to this Nine of Swords, because I feel like this is Lelena. I feel like this is Mom. That's Mom, and she's worried. She knows that this isn't good. This isn't good. You know, I think a lot of times when these cases go viral like this, or prior to them going viral, you get these little towns that nobody has heard of before. You know, like, you know, Summer Wells. Nobody would probably in the Beach Creek area think that no one would even care, right? No one would even care. No one would even look twice. And for some reason, some cases are like that, unfortunately. But then there's, once in a blue moon, you get a case that happens out in the middle of nowhere that nobody has heard of in a little area like Beach Creek. And you get something that happens, and the media just, it attaches to it. You know, it grabs our heartstrings, and we just, not saying that the others don't, but there's just, I think in people's minds, sometimes they think that no one will care. It won't be picked up by media. It won't be picked up by YouTube. And they're hoping that it can just be brushed under the rug. And so is that something that was going on here? Did mom, Lelena, did she think, oh, you know what, no one's gonna look into this. I'll do this and I'll do that and everything will be okay and it'll brush over and it'll just be an unsolved case. But then it wasn't. It ended up blowing up. And once YouTube gets a hold of it, then, you know, it's pretty much, I look at that as it's done, because YouTube is really good. You know, if there's anything about YouTube, yeah, there's a lot of drama and a lot of stuff going on YouTube and whatnot. But if anything, at the very least, it keeps the person in the media, and it kind of, I hope and pray that it kind of pushes law enforcement to make sure that they're doing their job correctly. Now, maybe not in all cases, because we do know that Summer Wells and Kylie Rodney, the law agencies there, I don't know if it's really helped or pushed them in any direction whatsoever, but you kind of have this feeling that it's just this oversight of these cases. And so that has really gotten mom worried. That has, and remember, I pulled that 10 of swords. This is the 9 of swords, so she knows exactly. I also take this as that she knows exactly what happened to Quinton. Okay, this is the predecessor to that 10 of swords, and I pulled the 10 of swords the other day. Mom knows what those swords are. She knows, and she's responsible. Okay, so and this is entertainment purposes only, so I'm not accusing mom. I guess it did sound like I was, right? But entertainment purposes only, my opinion, my interpretation of these cards. It is a tarot reading. But I feel like this is mom. Mom knows. Okay, she knows. But she called someone else. She called this person here. Who is this person here? We've got two different people here. I think it's one and the same. Is this the boyfriend? Is this someone else? But we have a male energy that is kind of like coming in. She's called out to him and said, hey, I need your help. And he's like, okay, all right. Let's just calm down. Let's think about this. How are we going to deal with this? What are we going to do? What are we going to say? And that's the feeling I get from that rest card, that 4 of swords. He knows what the swords are too. It's amazing how these swords are coming up. These swords represent what happened to baby Quinton. We've got the 10 of swords, the 9 of swords, the 4 of swords, and the ace of swords. Mom knows, this guy knows, and so do the authorities. They all know what these swords represent. So law enforcement, I think, pretty much has this in the bag. It's just a matter of putting all of that evidence together to go further with it. This isn't a good outcome. This isn't a good outcome. We've got the Sun card reversed. We've got 2 kids here. Excuse me. We've got 2 kids here. So I just feel like it represents all of the children in this household, to be honest. But it also represents baby Quinton, and it's not a good outcome. It just really isn't a good outcome. And then we have the Page of Pentacles. So it's interesting because the page, I always look at the page as, you know, either a younger person or a younger stage in something. So when I first seen this, when this first came out, the page to me, I would put Lelena as more of a knight age, okay? She fits more of that 20 to 30 age range. But she could really very well come out as a page as well, because she is very young. She is very, very young. And she's also very immature, okay? This is a woman who is very selfish and very just, you know, she's got her issues, she's got her addictions, okay? So she very well could theoretically come out as this page. And, you know, it's coming out in reverse, so there's that. This is the Page of Pentacles, and when I see these pentacles, I don't always look at it as money or finances. I look at it as a value system for that person, whatever they value. It might not be money, right? So that pentacle might not represent money to that person. What does Lelena value? Okay, she values probably her drugs and money to get those drugs and those sorts of things, right? But this is also coming out in reverse. So it's what is something that she doesn't value? Let's flip it. We got to turn it. And it's right next to the Sun card. It's right next to the child. So she doesn't value the child. She doesn't value the children. That's not a concern for her. She is not concerned about their welfare. They are just children to her. You know, she has other priorities, and she's gotten herself into a situation. She's gotten herself into a little pickle here, and she's concerned about it. She is worried about it. And then we have the Four of Cups, which pretty much just goes along with this Nine of Swords. You know, she... Let me look at this one for a second. There might be a little bit of regret. There might be a little bit of, what did I do? Why did I do this? What happened? This is ridiculous. My life is over. You know, but I'm picking up some, definitely some stress here, some worry with Mom. All right, let me pull a couple more cards. And then if we don't hear about anything in the next couple of days, I will do another reading on Quinton, and I've got a lot of requests that I need to get to, so I'm going to try to start popping those out as well. But I just wanted to get something up quickly before we hear anything, because I do feel like we are going to hear something soon. And it's not good. The Ace of Cups. The Five of Swords. Yeah, those swords are hot and heavy in this case. Seven of Swords. Damn. Six of Wands. We have ego coming into this. That's no shock. We have the World. So this, yeah. Three of Cups reversed. And we have the Tower card reversed. So when the Tower card comes out for me in reverse, that Tower moment has already occurred. It's already happened. It's done. The deed is done. Okay, so I feel like whatever has happened to baby Quinton, it has happened. It's over with, okay? And it's not a good outcome. We've got this party and celebration card, but it's coming out in reverse as well. And then we've also got the World card reversed. That's not good. And I look at these two here and I see that ego card. You know, it doesn't always represent ego. It's a triumphant success, you know, rewards type of card. But I do sometimes look at it as ego, especially when you've got it sitting smack dab in the middle of the Seven of Swords, the World reversed, the Three of Cups reversed, and the Tower reversed. So it takes on a slightly different meaning. Okay, this to me, I look at it as narcissism. This woman, Lelena, and you don't need cards to tell us this, right? We know. If you watch any kind of lengthy video on this family and their dynamics, you know that Lelena is all about her. You know, it's not about anyone else. It's certainly not about her children. It is about her. It's her world. She is the center of her world. Okay, that just, to me, it just validates that. It just says, yeah, this is the way it is. It confirms that. But then we've got the Seven of Swords, and it's right next to the Five of Swords. So these are concerning. These are really rough cards to come out. There's those swords again. Got the swords. Those swords are significant in this case. I don't know what those swords represent, but they represent a pattern of behavior. Okay, or a pattern of, you know, violence or something. There's something, right? And then we have this theft, this stealing. So the Five of Swords can usually represent, you know, competitiveness, winning at all costs. No matter what you got to do, you're going to win at all costs. So I look at that as Lelena getting what she wants at all costs, no matter what it is. No matter what it is, she's willing to take it. Even if she has to steal it. Okay, that's what this says to me. It's all about her. And you put that right there next to that Six of Wands, and you've got a woman who's willing to do anything to get what she wants at that moment. And in this situation, unfortunately, it involves baby Quinton. Now, that doesn't mean that she gave him away or sold him for something. That's not what I'm saying. It could be various different things. It could be, you know what, I've got to deal with my stuff today, so I need him to be asleep. I can't deal with a baby. I can't deal with children today. I need to, you know, sleep, and then I need to go get my fix, and then I need to do this, and I need to do that. So he's got to be put to sleep. Okay, it could be that. That's it could be a variety of things. And the reason why I said what I just said is because of that Ace of Cups. What is in this cup? What's in this cup? What's been put in the cup? All right, that's bothering me. That's typically a great card by itself, but when you put it up against all of these other things here that aren't so good, it concerns me. What was in the cup? Is this a sippy cup? Is it a bottle? You know, with something, is that what the swords represent? That very well could be what the swords represent. Maybe that sword represents a medication, okay? Something to put him to sleep because mom has to do her stuff. She's got to do her stuff. That's what's important. It's all about her. And then boom, the tower happens, okay, which is the event. Everything went wrong. That didn't turn out so good. Now what do I got to do? I got to call such and such and get help and figure out what I got to do. Now I'm worried. And I feel like law enforcement knows exactly what was in that cup, and they know exactly what those swords represent. And like I said, it's just a matter of time until they put everything together. All right, so one last pull on where oh, Jesus, where is Quinton? Where is Quinton? All right. Yeah, Seven of Cups. That's my drugging card. We've got water, we've got the Star card reversed, we've got the Ace of Pentacles, the Knight of Wands, the Eight of Pentacles reversed, and the Nine of Cups reversed. So we've got a lot of cups now coming into play. So it kind of just played off of that Ace of Cups. Like I said, this Seven of Cups to me is a drugging card. We've got the Nine of Cups reversed, didn't turn out very well. We've got the Eight of Cups reversed, leaving. He was taken somewhere is my guess. He was probably taken somewhere and left, okay, and abandoned. We've got a lot of water because these are cups cards, so we have a lot of water. You know, I don't know anything about that area, so is there a body of water or even a small amount of water, a creek, a river? I don't know, but there's that, okay? But we have a woman going there and leaving something behind, so that's a concern. And then look at this Star card. We have a woman mixing something up. We have two pictures, and she's, you know, that totally not what the card is, right? But for this case, with all of these cups and this concoction of sorts, I have to wonder, again, is this something to do with mixing something in a bottle or something along those lines? That's what I'm taking this as, and it's not a good mixture. Ace of Pentacles, the Knight of Wands, and the Eight of Pentacles. So we've got two Pentacles coming up. This is a work card. It's almost like I'm looking at this as, how are we going to deal with this? We need to cover this up. But they didn't do a very good job. Okay, they didn't do a very good job, and they didn't, thank God, right? Thank God they didn't do a good job, because hopefully there's some form of justice in this case. But this was them attempting to do what they needed to do to make sure that this didn't, you know, go not in their favor, and they didn't do a good job. So I don't feel like they're gonna continue to get away with this. The Ace of Pentacles. We've got a path. We've got something here. Something is being given. I mean, I look at this as evidence. This is another form of evidence. This is a good card. You know, it's between cards that aren't so good, of course, but I still look at this as there's something there that led these officers to that house. You know, if we really think about this, I know in the video where Billy Joe is accusing the neighbor of, you know, taking Quinton or having Quinton, but that's not where the cops are at. Okay, so if that were even a remote possibility, her house would be all, you know, taped up with you know, window blockages and things like that. So that's not happening. The evidence, they're going where the evidence led them, okay? And the evidence has led them to where Quinton lived and where this family lives. That's where the evidence, that's where the information is taking them. That's where it's leading them, and that's where they're going to find something. I do believe that they are definitely on the right track, but at the same time, they are not at the neighbor's house. They are not at the babysitter's house. So she is not any kind of interest to them whatsoever. So grandma saying that is just, I think, a little bit of, I know I'm being recorded, because she says it at the very end. She didn't say anything about, you know, you have Quinton, I know you have Quinton. She didn't say that until the very end when she's kind of walking away and leaving, and she knows she's being recorded. And so I kind of feel like that was a little bit of a public jab to the babysitter of saying, you have him, you have him, you have him. You're the only ones that have access to our house. All of you can just walk in. That was just kind of like, let me throw that out there. But it's meaningless because the police aren't there looking. And the Knight of Wands. So the Knight of Wands, you know, I don't know if this is a, you know, somebody involved in it or if it's law enforcement. I'm kind of looking at it as law enforcement because it's right next to that Ace of Pentacles. And so I take that as they are on it. They're doing their job. Knights are all about taking action. But the Knight of Wands is more of a slow and methodical action. Like they're taking their time and they're doing it right. They're doing what they have to do. Okay, they're not rushing through it. They're not, you know, it might not happen in a day or two, but it is going to happen, and they are going through it, and they have a purpose, and they are absolutely devoted to this case and finding out what happened to baby Quinton. So I really look at these two cards as, you know, these are good. These are good, but they're aware. They know. They have a lot of information that we don't know, which is to be expected. And they're doing what they can with it, and I think that they'll be successful in the end. But overall, I don't have a good feeling about the outcome of this case. So I'm going to leave it there, guys, and I am going to get ready and head over and visit with my sister today. And of course, as usual, if you guys are interested in a private tarot reading, don't hesitate to reach out. I will have my email in the description box. And I know probably everybody's going to, not everybody, but I know that my volume is probably not as decent as it has been in the car for the last couple of days, but I have something that I'm working on, and hopefully this will be situated very soon. But I apologize for anybody who is having a hard time hearing this, and I hope you guys all have a wonderful day, and I will see you guys soon. All right, bye.